Welcome to Two Men with an Opinion. I am Nick, this is Sash, and we are going to get on radio. I do promise you that it is going to happen. When exactly, that's the question at the moment.
Yeah, well, hopefully sooner rather than later, but life's a bit hectic at the moment.
Every time we decide to get going, Rona seems to keep coming in and saying, sorry, mate, not today.
Yeah, just Gladys is keeping us from you people, mate.
That's why we have technology. We can do this nowadays.
That's right.
We can do this over technology and through the various social medias. And I think that's a fantastic little segue into what we're going to talk about today, which is the general premise of social media. Who uses it? Why is it used? And also move on to, of course, because we are two men with an opinion, we're going to have an opinion about this. Women in particular with their social media, because these days women use Instagram, let's say, more often than not is their choice of social media. Facebook is sort of dying down these days a little bit here.
Yeah.
But also women are on social media more often according to some studies. So straight off the bat, what does that tell you about men and women on social media? Like, why do you think that that is?
Oh, I just think it has to do a lot with sort of like their personality traits, wanting to sort of chase clout a little bit, make a name for themselves, and I guess in a sense not have to work hard in society.
For the women's sense, you mean?
Yeah.
Or what about the men?
Men, well, I don't know. There is men that chase clout too, but like speaking for myself, I use it more in terms for a business sense. So, like us, we were talking about this pretty much. We've been talking about this all day actually, and for myself, pretty much social media was just purely to interact with my mates, keep in touch with people that I might not be able to see face to face so often as I would like to. But over the years now, especially starting up my own business and everything like that, it's become a lot more, a prominent platform for myself to use, just to pretty much get myself out there, because it's such a big thing these days.
Yeah, social media is used not so much as a personal tool, it's more so a marketing tool nowadays.
Yeah.
You'd say, I mean, I use it with my personal side as well when it comes to DJing and things like that, because that's ultimately what your main tool is now, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, even podcasts, whatever it is. It's technically it's still a form of social media, you could probably say, because you're interacting with people socially, and it is of a medium format. Obviously, back in the day, you had your very basic cell phone, you had text messages, you had pages and beepers back in the day. Then email came into it, and then all that sort of stuff. MSN, 100%. And now,
those were the days.
Now you just don't even need people's numbers anymore. When have you gone out and you've met someone and said, "Oh, hey, what's your Instagram?" Or let me add you on Facebook or whatever. We've gone past the point where we've normally just gone to people and said, "Look, you seem pretty interesting," whether it be a female you partake in or whether it be a bloke you've met through a mutual friend and like, you know what, this guy's all right, it's good to hang out with, might be good, we'll shoot some hoops or, play soccer or whatever, give me a number, I'll give you a buzz, we'll go out for a drink, we'll sort something out, you know what I mean? Now it's, what's your Instagram page? What's your Snapchat? What's your Facebook? I mean, that's how we are now, because social media, whilst it was a good thing, back in the late 2000s when Bebo was out, and then MySpace came into it, and then Facebook eventually, and then Instagram came at a later date. But I think it goes to show that we have moved so far as a society, as a people now. Everything is social media based. Like everything you do is social media based.
I think it's a lot to do with, I guess it just plays on people's insecurities and their feelings a lot, and how people are starting to become more like, they just want to care about social validation. They want to seem like they're cool or wanted. And even going back to Bebo, how you would remember, like you got given a certain amount of hearts you could give out to people.
I remember that.
And if you got a heart, oh my God, you thought that's it. That person loves me so much.
I remember that.
And you had to, everyone would go around school and asking for it, and you'd have to wait till like 3:30, 4 o'clock on a weekday to see if you got a heart and how many hearts you got, and the people with the most hearts were like so popular back then. And like it's all started from back then. It's all like, I'm cool because I got a heart, or I'm cool now because I've got 3,000 Instagram likes, or I'm cool because I've got 300,000 TikTok followers. And that's pretty much what it's become. Well, what I think social media has become, whether it's for females or males, it's pretty much just become a social validation sort of thing where it's trying to outdo the next person in a sense.
It literally is what it is. It's a social competition. Oh, they went out to Ivy. Oh, I got to go out to Ivy now as well.
Yeah.
Oh, they bought this pair of shoes. I've got to get the similar or equivalent pair of shoes as well. It's always to one up someone else. Oh, look at what they're doing. Look at what they're doing. I need to be better. I need to do this. I
Yeah.
need to do this. It's chasing that proverbial dragon. You know,
Pretty
when they
much.
use it in like terms of like drug use. When you have drugs for the first time, so they tell me, hand on heart, never done it. So if anyone's wondering why do I know this, it's just an obvious summation. When you have drugs for the first time, that is the best high you'll ever get. And then you become an addict because you're always chasing that first high you got.
Yeah.
And that's where it becomes addictive. So if you have received 100 likes on a Instagram post, for example, and now you're like, oh, that felt good. 100 people like my stuff. Okay, how do I better that now? What do I have to do? How do I get more likes? How do I get 150? What, 205, 1,000?
Yeah.
How? You're always chasing that dragon after that, and that's where you become a bit of and we'll shout outs obviously that don't know us, we don't know them, but you introduced me to a another channel via TikTok, which I detest wholeheartedly. I can't stand the platform, but it does have its merits, I'll give it that. And the podcast is OKSB Podcast.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of blokes in the United States. Small pod, only 2,000 followers, whatever.
Yeah.
Or 2,000 subs rather, but they do have some good videos similar to this in this format, anywhere from a couple of hundred to maybe 1,000 views or whatever. Still fresh,
Yeah.
still starting out, but they had an interesting conversation on social media and the whole validation aspect, and you just hit it on the head right there. It started from a very young age. It's almost, well, we are of that social media age, shall we say, because we started with that.
Yeah.
MSN, Bebo was ours. And remember MSN as well, just to kick back, when you had someone's name
Yes,
in your bio,
yeah.
that was big.
That's it.
That was big.
massive.
You are lying if you said you didn't have it.
Exactly.
You had it for
100%.
sure. You had it for sure. So that's what they used to do back then. Now, in saying that, now as we are adults now, I'm in my early 30s, you're in your late 20s now. We've gone through that. We've progressed through that. And I have seen how social media has changed from sharing photos of yourself or
Yeah.
letting people know what you're doing, sharing your favorite music, to now it's, as you said, a competition. How can I get more likes? How can I get more followers? Ooh, who's following me now?
Yeah.
How can I get interactions with this person? And that sort of leads me to the earlier inclination, as you said, when people are chasing clout these days, because
Yeah.
it's not so much how much money you've got, it's how popular are you online?
that's
Who
right.
do you hang around with? Who is in your circle of social media friends? What can you provide for me that makes me think I need to be hanging around you? You know what I mean? It's like you have to prove yourself to someone else for them to see how good you are.
Yeah.
But that all comes with the whole social media culture as well now.
No, that's right. Well, like I said, I'm going to talk pretty much personal for myself, how I've sort of had to restructure my presence on social media to suit what I'm trying to do with my life. But it stopped being about, like, it used to be so much people would just post about, places they've been, things they've done. It used to just be pretty much just about showcasing your life through pictures, pretty much, per se. And then all of a sudden, this social validation came in, where people started to care so much about how popular this person is or that person is, and different influencers they started to idolize, for lack of a better word, what I think is probably the wrong people, and that's led us a bit astray in terms of what people are posting now. And it's all about what's going to get me X amount of likes, or what's going to get me noticed by that person or that person. And it stopped being so much about how you see yourself, or it started to be so much about how other people see you, and people are willing to do certain things pretty much to gain opportunities in life. Whereas personally, I probably, now with trying to start a business and using social media to get further with that business, I understand part of that, but to a certain extent, I still would probably not sell myself out to just bring people in. I still consider myself a very real person, and I'm very real with people and my interactions. I'm not one of these people that, if you go watch some of these videos, especially on OKCB, SB, and some of these other podcasts, you hear about the term yes men or yes people, where they'll just say anything, pretty much say the things you want to hear, because they see you as an opportunity to better themselves. So I'm not one of those people where, I'll lie or I'll post things to get attention just so I can better myself. I post things that need to be posted and need to be said, but I also am very real with people where if I don't like a post, I won't like it, no matter who you are.
Yeah, funny you mentioned that. That's a good thing there. And just to tail off what you said there about what you post and who you are, I'm sort of the same. I will post things that I actually do believe in and hold dear to me. So I pride myself in integrity. If I tell you something, that's how I feel, that's how I think. Well, not how I feel, that's how I think, that's how I perceive something to be. So in that aspect, I get it. What you said there as well, when you just mentioned there at the end of it about the whole thing of people being yes men and making people do things just so they can go out with them and see them or do whatever. It also goes to show that sometimes people are also on social media surrounded by people who find value and entertainment in you, but not for the good reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
When you go out and you see someone who's taking 5 shots one after the other, someone will take a video of that and post it online, and you'll be like, oh, look, I got 1,000 views on me taking 5 shots. But I don't see someone who's got 1,000 views taking 5 shots. I see someone who is probably borderline suffering from some problems, like taking 5 shots in a row and then high-fiving or clapping like you've achieved something in life. That to me is pointless. Like that, I don't see any joy or anything good in that aspect. I mean, if you went out and did something of value or did something that is, maybe you'll say, practical, fair enough. But for you to just sit there, take 5 shots, and then your friends to record you and say, woo, yeah, you go, girl. And because let's be real, most of the time it's going to be women that are doing that. And women love taking their videos when it comes to clubs and going out and food and coffees and the boomerangs and all that nonsense and all that crap. But I get it. I get it. We know why they do it. Yeah. And that's what's going to tail on to what the main part of this discussion is between ourselves here. But being surrounded by people who just egg you on, like I get what you're saying, like yes men, like yeah, I'll come along, I'll do yes, I'll come because I want to be seen with you, sort of a thing. You don't really want that as well. But then again, exactly. you don't want to be that person who's going to chase someone's tail. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to chase someone's tail. On the flip side, you don't want to be that person who becomes the butt of jokes out in the public as well, because you don't want to be that person again who's doing something and you're drunk or drugged up or whatever it is you're doing, and someone's recording you and you're like, yeah, ooh, I did this, whatever. And then it goes viral, and then, a week later you end up losing your job, for example, because your employer saw it or something like that. Even though there's no relation to you there's no relation to your job and you as a person, still your employer might see that and say, well, that's a bad representation of who we want working for us. And I get that. And you know what? One day I might be guilty of that too, based on things I say and how I feel. But I don't mix my work with what my personal life is. When I'm at work, I'm at work. So I understand that point. But just going on from what I said at the tail end there, girls, when they go out and they're always, let's be real here, women use social media, I would say hands down more than men, but it might not be that big of a difference, but I still think they might edge it out. What do you think?
Yeah. I'd kind of say they probably use it more in a narcissistic way. Like
for the attention.
Yeah.
For the attention.
That's what I'd say.
Well, we'll pull up an article here. This is from 2016 though. We'll cross to it right now if this all works. Whooshka, look at that. Technology. Fantastic. So it says here from The Atlantic, why are more women than men on Instagram? And it says here, mother's historical responsibility for taking family photos could be one explanation. This is written by a female. Again, you can see there, June 8th, 2016. So we're 5 years into this particular article here now, and I don't think not much has changed. But there is something in there of women always being the ones taking photos. I mean, if I recall correctly, it was always the female, like my mother always wanted to take photos. Granted, okay, there's personal history as to why she took most of the photos. You know, if you know me personally, you'll know why. But even before that, even with males around, it was always women that wanted to take photos. And I think that comes from within. Females always want to capture the moment because they want to capture something that is great, something that is going to be looked at, something that people are going to say, oh, wow, that is lovely. You know what I mean? I think it goes around an emotional base, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, but then that's what we're trying to say, where I was saying that it's gone away from, hey, I'm taking a photo for a memory, you know, that I can share down the track between my friends or my kids or whatever. And it's gone away from that aspect to, I'm pretty much taking this photo just so I can get a bit of attention from this person or that person, you know what I mean? And that's where the sort of, in my personal opinion, that narcissism comes into it, where it's like, for me, for example, yeah, I like to dress up and look good sometimes, and I like to take photos of where I am or whatever. But at the end of the day, from an Instagram perspective, I have my own a business page and a personal page. My personal page is pretty much, I look at my personal page and to me it's memories, right? Yeah, I'll try and work a good angle in or whatever where, you know, people might be like, oh, he looks good or whatever. But at the end of the day, I'll look at that photo and I'll be able to reminisce a moment between my friends or my family or something like that. You know, it doesn't bother me who likes it, how many likes it gets. I've had photos that I've put up where I've gotten, 35 likes.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, whatever.
Same. I don't care. I don't put them up there for likes.
Yeah.
There's a reason why certain men post in a certain way and why women post in different ways. But just to go back to this article once again, just to quickly flick through this. Again, we're talking about 5 years ago now. We know what it's like nowadays. We don't need to have any sort of stats and info. I mean, I would like to know, probably if I did a bit more research before we actually went on and recorded this, it was meant to be audio only, mind you, which is why we're not looking the best. But like Sash said, sometimes your best stuff comes when it's unprepared.
Yeah.
So I thought, why not? Let's roll with the punches. I actually would like to see how many people around the world use Instagram today. But back in 2016 of April, it was 42% of Instagram's 108 million visitors were male, while 58% were female. And Comscore says that double-digit disparity has held pretty consistent over the last year. And I'd probably even double down and say it has probably grown since then. And I would say women are the highly more majority of users of Instagram. Now, it's interesting pop out here when it comes to the Instagram phenomenon. It says Instagram gives you the power to modify your appearance in a way that's practically on par with makeup and other beauty products. Now, this is what I take issues, probably not the right term, but this is what annoys me about social media and women's and men's. It has to be said, I've seen a lot of men photoshopping and face tuning and body tuning and all that shit as well. But these are the types of blokes who think that they're, bodybuilders or the Adonai or they're, the hot guy at the club and all that sort of stuff. But women will always, more often than not, filter, tune, do something, change something about their photo. Not very rarely do I see a woman actually post a non-makeup, out of the shower, dried hair, not naked, mind you, just like out of the shower, just clothes on and everything, just so we're clear, just like fresh faced. You know what I mean? Very rarely do you see that because, well, that's not the best version of me. This is the best version of me. This is what I want people to see online, and I get that. I understand, but when you go past the veneer and the shade of, okay, I'm just gonna put makeup on myself, I'm gonna dress up in a nice dress or a nice top or whatever. Once you start changing your appearance through filters and face tuning and all that sort of stuff, that's where I say, okay, now you've taken it a bit too far, because this is the vision or the version of yourself you're trying to tell people that you are.
Yeah.
And when people meet you in real life and they see you are not this person that you portray yourself to be, what does that tell them about you? I look at someone like that and says, well, they're either dishonest about their own appearance, they're either maybe insecure about some of the features that they may carry, or they just want to appear better than what they are in real life. And at the end of the day, social media is probably something that is an escape for people, or it used to be an escape. It used to be an escape where you could go on social media and just get away from the real world and just like watch funny memes and look at cat videos and, you know, soccer highlights and all that sort of stuff. And now it's just every time you go on and you go on social media, you see, wow, she looks so hot. And then you look and it's like, I can see edit after edit after edit after edit. And these are all women in their early 20s, mid 20s, all these influencer wannabes, the Kim Kardashian wannabes, because ultimately that's probably where they've gotten their inspiration from.
Yeah, like I said, that's who they sort of idolize and who they look up to. And yeah, I'm not saying, we're not saying that it's probably the wrong people to look up to, but yeah, they've done things to get themselves where they needed to be or where they are. And yeah.
It is pretty telling when you've seen a lot of people these days when they post, and women, serial filterers. I know a lot of them, and I give them shit all the time. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Oh, it's for fun. It's just a laugh. I go, it's a laugh for people you've met in real life because they know what you look like.
That's right.
But for people who don't know what you look like, effectively, you'd probably say it's borderline catfishing.
Oh,
And
yeah, it is.
I don't want to put you on the spot.
No, we've
But
spoken about it before.
You've copped it too many times, my
Yeah,
friend. And what have I
exactly.
always told you? What have I always told you?
No, you've told me stay away from social media and
Not just
online
online
dating and
Before you commit or do anything, you want to see whether they are who they say they are in real life.
yeah.
You know what I
So
mean?
Nova's advice is look at their tagged photos because that's when they're
Tagged
probably
photos is there,
not their best.
Yeah. Or look at videos rather than photos that they've
Yeah,
posted. Like this is what they've posted. This is what they're tagged in.
Yeah,
Like the videos, and you see, oh, she's got like a cracker hourglass figure in her photo, and then you go on the video and it's just like
Ironing
it's
board.
it's like, come on, mate. Like who you mucking
Yeah.
around with? You know what I mean? I get it because there's a lot of competition for women these days.
Yeah,
And
I
this leads me to another point. This leads me ultimately to the point we want to talk about now, specifically on the women's side, because again, I mentioned this to you today. We were talking about certain experiences that men have throughout their lives. When you've heard 2-3 people talk about something you've also experienced, it's a bit of an odd coincidence. When it's 200,000-300,000 of the same people experiencing the same things, you say to yourself, okay, maybe there's something going on here.
Yeah.
And for men, it is a massive case of there is something going on here and we need to figure out what it is and how we're going to fix it. So when it comes to the online aspect of people and social media, you have to say that today it is all about the appearance of your online stat, how many followers you've got,
Yeah.
who you hang around with, and all those sorts of things. The more prospects you have, the better your outcome. This leads me to my point, which has been long-winded and finally coming here. Because more women use Instagram and social media, more women will be reluctant to get rid of it, even after they're in a relationship, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because they still want the attention, the likes, the whole, well, look how many people are liking my photo. Oh, I just took a photo of me holding a cocktail. Like, you know, it's just like drinking it, whatever, you know what I mean? And they're going to get 100 plus likes on it for nothing. Because it's just mostly the blokes just liking, like, oh yeah, she's hot, like.
Simps.
Simp, basically they're simping, 100%. And you don't want to be that person. Like, you don't want to be that person who just likes things for the sake of liking, especially when it's a stranger and you don't know them and you're just liking and commenting. They're getting likes and comments and attention for simply existing.
Yeah.
They haven't done anything to garner any real attention.
Yeah.
So they will keep their social media because even though they're with you, it keeps them open to find other people once you're gone. Or if something's not happening or not working out for them, it lets them know that, how can I find myself a backup or Mr.
Yeah.
Plan
Like
B,
what
for
we were
example.
saying about like opportunities.
Yeah.
Like that's what it comes down to. They don't want to sort of scorn any future opportunities. In saying this, just a quick note, we don't want to we're not here to bash women or anything like that. We're not trying to say it's strictly women or anything because
I love women. Love them.
there's like
In more than one way.
like the same can be said about all these guys that will finance an AMG just to impress a chick, right? Like I don't
you know
condone
what?
that.
You know what? You
I
mentioned
hate that shit.
That is another topic in and its own. Men on social media. That'll be the next one we
Yeah,
do. All right,
like-
next one.
So yeah, don't think like we're just here to nitpick on women's presence on social media or anything like that. It's not like that, because there's things that as men, like certain men, that what they do that I totally despise too, and that is like without a doubt things like like a hire car for a day, taking Snapchats and videos on Instagram and all this shit, so it looks like you don't even own the car, man.
Yeah. Or it's like hiring out an
Or-
Airbnb for a day and
like-
taking photos inside the mansion as though it's your own.
Yeah, like, come on, man.
Men
Like,
do that. It is
Trust
cringe.
me, they do. It's bad.
Like there's nothing worse, I think, for a female than to think that, and that is in a way catfishing itself.
It's
When a bloke
exactly,
does that,
that's
It's
what I
a
was about to say.
massive catfish. When a lady thinks she's found herself her ideal man, he's got the AMG, he's got the mansion, he's got the pool, he's got this, he's got that, and all he's done is taken a whole bunch of different outfits for the day, hired a photographer for $100 or whatever, hired out a car for a day, as I just said, and they've gone and taken photos as though that is their lifestyle. That is what they
and
do.
it's not.
And then when a woman is hooked in, like hooked, line, and sinker into that, and then she realizes that, wait, this whole thing is a lie, she feels so shit about herself. That's the same way blokes feel about you when you basically finessing the blokes, just using your sexuality, your fake online appearance, and everything that is about you that isn't real to try and get yourself a bloke.
Yeah.
And you wonder why men get shitty when things like that happen. But it is what it is, man. Like,
No, that's
there's
right, that's
it is
right.
what it is. It just is what it is. And I'm welcoming debate on this. I mean, if anyone has any issues or any questions, drop a comment in the comment box below. Send us an email. Links will be provided. But just to move on to this point here as well, there is also the notion that there is an addiction sense of social media. Say, like, who is more addicted to the social media aspect? And it says this article here, which we'll pull up right now, says here, generally women use social media sites to make connections and stay in touch. Men, by contrast, use social media to gather information they need to build influence. Social media helps them perform research, gather relevant contacts, and ultimately increase their status, which is when we talk about like, what do you do to better yourself? Like, you want to build yourself an appearance. Like, you don't want to fake an appearance. You want to make it as real as can possibly be.
100.
Real as can possibly be. But it says, who is more addicted to social media? Now, as we just mentioned there as well, women do love using social media for the attention aspect. Any woman who says they post photos just for the sake of it, find me a woman who says she posts photos without the intention of likes, and I'll show you a liar. Okay? Everyone posts photos for some sort of attention and likes, especially women when they have strategies, when to post it, how to tag
100.
it, what lighting to use, and all that sort of stuff. There's strategies towards all this stuff, man. So yeah, it does have to say that's 76% of women have a slighter edge over men, who are 72% of the social media market. You see demographics there. 18 to 24, it is was 89%. So a lot of the early adults to not really even middle-aged. Oh, yeah, I suppose middle-aged to 49. That'd be them. I suppose that would be them at the moment there. That's pretty much where it goes here. And you can just see that there are a lot more female users. Snapchat, 70 to 30%. Pinterest is more female. Instagram, 58 to 42. Facebook, 52 to 48. Twitter is almost about even. LinkedIn is probably more of a male thing for business. I think it's more of a business. Not to say women aren't business related, but I think just in this particular aspect that is what it is. And YouTube is also more heavily male at this point in time. Anyways, I think this article is I think it was from a year or two ago, if I'm trying to find out when it was. I don't know, whatever it was. But I think that YouTube one might have changed a little bit there. But Rollo Tomasi, just to mention him again, because I love this guy's work. And he says, someone tweeted saying, there's a study that says 65% of women want a confident man or some sort of alpha man instead of the wealthy men at 6%. And 96% of women think their sexy, social media, and feminine primacy have their egos completely out of control. and this goes back to what I say all the time, that there is a sort of overinflated sense of self-worth because of social media, because of the likes, because of the attention they get. And that in the long run is probably, and I don't want to go for too long for this. I think we've gone on for about 30 odd minutes already, which for a video is probably a bit long, 10 minutes more, maybe we'll push out the 40-minute mark. But this in long term probably doesn't work in their favor, because the more that they think they're better than what they actually are, the more time goes by, the more they don't find someone that they are happy to be with, and they might miss the opportunity of the guy who's going to look after them in the long term, if that's what they want. Now, they can be single, they can be promiscuous, they can do whatever the hell they want, or maybe they just want to be, do whatever it is that you do. You do you, boo, or you.
Yeah.
No beef there. But with every action, there's a consequence, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So that's what I'm saying. With them, thinking that they deserve so much more than what they actually are, it's maybe in the long run, it could be a bad thing for them, but it could be a good thing for guys, because we're not the ones that are caught in that rip of trying to keep this particular woman happy, satisfied, and going on, when she's really not probably what we would expect her to be, or what she should be, in effect, based on, where she stands. And I know it comes across as a little bit shallow, but let's be real here. No one's going to, marry a plank of wood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. Well, even it's sort of, I guess we can link this part to probably our last pod that we did about the chick from TikTok that I was talking about, that's been on X amount of dates with certain men in Sydney. And she's on TikTok. She's on that platform, and she started to get a bit of traction about the types of men she's dating and why it's not working out, and how it's all the man's fault. And she's using now sort of, I guess, her TikTok following to build a presence online. And she's obviously getting support from other women saying, oh, yes, queen, go and get what you deserve and all that sort of stuff. And well, that's fine. Go and get what you deserve. But why, you've been on however many dates, surely one would have, been good enough to go on a second date with, or on a third date, and progress. But you seem to be going on dates 3-4 times a week, and not one has hit your standard. I'm just well, I find that a bit hard to believe.
Yeah, the penny hasn't dropped at any one of them, but also more to the point, either she's enjoying being taken out by all these men who are thirsty as F and probably don't know their own self-worth. And Rollo says this thing, and I like to use it as well. Nothing is more... I'm going to muck up the quote here. Actually, I've got it on my phone. I read it off on my phone because I've saved it on there, and it sort of rings true. And I'm not saying that every man should go after this. This isn't every man either. It's just something to consider, and also for the ladies too. It says, nothing is more threatening yet simultaneously attractive to a woman than a man who is aware of his own value to women. So if you're a man of self-worth and a man worth a damn, there is no reason why you should be, bowing down to just any woman who says, oh, I like you, be my boyfriend. It's yeah, nah, I'm better than that. Sorry, I know where I'm at right now, and I'm not going to let you control me with your peace sleeve. Shout out to Coach Greg Adams. I'm not going to let you control me with that thing between your legs. And I know women say that, the P is power. It is if you let it be.
Yeah, exactly.
If you focus your life strictly on that, it will be what takes over. It will be literally what controls your life. If you don't hold focus over it, it can't control you. That's literally what that quote is. And when you know you are better than that, you will just leaps and bounds. You will just go further and further.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. Yeah.
Perfect. Wrap it up then. Nice and easy.
No, that's
quick
it.
one there.
Nice.
Social media. That's social media. And I promise we will talk about the men on social media, because I see it.
Knickers in a twist.
I see it nonstop, and I can just see, I know you. I've met you. You do not drive a Ferrari.
Yeah.
You don't live in Vaucluse, my friend. You don't. You work in a menial job, 9-to-5 office job, a lot of everyone else. And just because you buy fancy clothes and you wear Givenchy and Balenciaga or whatever.
That's another.
I hate that, man. That, especially in the scene I'm involved in the entertainment, shall you say, entertainment industry, and that scene there, I see it a lot, and I just cringe.
There's the boys on OKSB do have an episode on it where about guys wearing designer and what they're trying to do with it. It's just Oh, it's so cringy.
Too
man. I'm
much,
just like,
way
mate,
too much.
You don't even earn that much money to be doing that sort of shit.
Exactly. So much content we can have. But hopefully this has been enjoyable and somewhat informative as well. And if you did like it, give it a like, give us a subscribe. And yeah, if you have any thoughts, drop a comment down below.
Yeah.
And look out for the next one. Hopefully we'll end up on radio soon once COVID is over. As we said, it will be a 1 hour live block similar to this. We will just pick a topic, maybe have 1 or 2 people in the studio and just have a chit chat.
Yeah, that's right. So hopefully we'll get onto that soon. COVID willing.
COVID pending. That's right. Yes.
But yeah, no, it's been good fun to get our opinions across, and hopefully you guys do enjoy it. Give us some feedback whether you like it or not, or whatever you want us to speak about. We have opinions on a lot of things, not just
if we're wrong, tell us why we're wrong.
yeah.
Tell us why we're wrong. Honestly,
I don't know.
I want to know.
I don't think I'm wrong, but yeah, it's.
All right, we'll wrap things up then. Enjoy the rest of your week, everyone. And until the next time, stay safe, do the distancing, all the usual crap. And yeah, peace out.
See you guys.